Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I've been getting a lot of questions about what class I'm going to play for the new season, and today I want to share my thought process with you. As many of you know, I've been playing and enjoying many hours on my main class, the Barbarian, but for this patch, Barbarian is not going to be the class that I will start with, and this has many reasons. First reason, and probably the most important one, is there has been a never-ending strike of nerfs to the Barbarian class. It started on with the shout nerfs, it went over to items, it went through the skills, it went back to shouts again, it went to gores, it went through basically all that was fun for me on Barb, because now like we also get another cooldown nerf, and like it just feels very clunky to play now. Like you have these 3 shouts that you barely have up, and it's still the best choice as it seems. I mean, there's been some alternatives like Groundstorm or Rough the Berserk or something, but mainly like you basically still are very pigeonholed into playing triple shouts, even they have been nerfed so many times now, and it just doesn't really feel smooth. You know, in a game like Diablo, for I really like to be able to like press my buttons more often and have a lot of, you know, control over my character. So it just feels so bad, like with all this low cooldown and with all the bold chieftain and just so many of the bonuses here just gone. And then of course with the recent patch that has not been received that well overall in the entire community, because it was just a nerf to everything pretty much. And yeah, Barb in particular, I felt got hit very hard, just like the sorcerer did as well. They changed the bleed stuff again. They completely changed how the quake mechanic works. Like you basically now it's just a right click build. Like you don't need to aim anymore. Like you just right click the monster until it's dead basically. So very simplistic now. And yeah, I just feel like with the stat nerf that they did to vulnerable damage and to crit damage and to all this stuff, it always feels like it affects the Barb the most, because Barbarian has 4 weapons. It has 4 times the crit implicit, or at least 3 times, because we're usually using 3 throats. It has all these implicits that are like half now. It has 4 weapons that usually have vulnerable damage that has been reduced. It has 4 weapons that have crit damage, not only as implicit, but also as a stat that has been significantly lowered. And it also has 4 weapons that usually use main stat. Like normal weapons, they look something like this, right? Like crit, vulnerable, all stat. This one didn't get nerfed, thank God. And main stats. So 4 stats out of these 5 have been basically nerfed. And nerfed pretty significantly. And this basically goes through all the weapons, and I felt from when I tested it, Barb just got a very big nerf, even bigger than other classes in comparison, because of these like 4 weapon choices that he has. And then obviously they have completely removed the quake. I haven't even switched my stuff yet. And they have also nerfed the retribution one. Gives you now only 50% of the damage. Like it used to be 40, now it's 20. So it just feels like Hoda, basically my damage feels like it's divided by 4. And yeah, they've tried to compensate a bit by buffing the gores again, like for the whirlwind Barb. But even there, like the gore still doesn't have crit chance. It still has attack speed, which doesn't even work with the whirlwind here on the gloves. And I feel like now it's like an auto trigger that they've removed the cap. That's a step in the right direction. But now it's like an auto trigger. So I just feel like they're taking away the control that we as the player have over this. Like whenever we want to proc it, they just took this away, and now we basically have to rely on like an automatic proc. And it's just like impossible to time properly, and it just like randomly goes off when you don't want it, and it's like consuming, you know, all the damage that you would want to do. So I just felt like that wasn't really anything to really help the Barbs. And then, you know, they've tried to like implement some new charge legendary power But at the same time, like nobody was already using charge, like nobody was playing charge, and at the same time as they reduce a new legendary, they also remove the strongest rune. So now you can't even permacharge anymore. So that one also felt pretty bad. And then obviously there is a lot of small buffs here, which is kind of nice, but overall doesn't really have a huge impact on the class overall. So Barb is also like one of the worst classes in the leveling process. It used to, and it's still like kind of okay in the mid game, but now it really falls off in the end game. If you're looking at Thorns Barb, for example, like Thorns Barb is a build that relies on being hit. We have the Razor Blade legendary that doesn't even have any defensive stats. Like the uniques on Barb are, yeah, pretty underwhelming to say the least. I think the only useful unique is like Rage of Haragas now with like a Gorson not being viable as well. And yeah, the Razor Blade doesn't have any defensive stats on a Thorns build, and obviously it's a build where you want to get hit, right? Like you want monsters to hit you, but you're missing like 4 times 20% damage reduction basically on your chest. So you like the high level Thorns build doesn't even play Razor Blade, and now obviously Thorns is also nerfed heavily because all these defensive stuffs that you need as Thorns, because in order to deal damage you gotta take damage, and now you can't take any more damage because your armor is nerfed, your fortify is nerfed, your damage reduction from bleeding enemies is nerfed, your close damage reduction is nerfed. Like all this kind of stuff really makes Thorns also very hard to play. And yeah, I mean, Whirlwind was already bad. Hoda is like damage divided by 4. So there's not really even like a good endgame build for Barbarian. I mean, you can speed farm like easy content with the Barb, that still works. But I mean, is that really what we want to do all day in Diablo 4? I don't know. Like, so, you know, Barb is just in a pretty bad spot right now, it feels. And don't get me wrong, man. The Sorcerer is also probably in a rougher spot even. So there's definitely a lot of things that could be done here in the near future. But these are many reasons why I decide to not go Barb this season. And one more reason is the Malignant Hearts. So I've been pretty hyped about this, like 32 powers. But then if you look, obviously there's some cool stuff with the Barber and stuff. I can see some nice synergies with Whirlwind. But overall, when you look at the Barb specific one, especially at the super world tier 4 Wrathful gem, it just gives you damage reduction, which is nice. Barb is a melee class, it gives damage reduction. But then you see what all the other classes get. Like they get like some crazy damage buffs or some very nice stats. Like the Druid here gets Grizzly Rage. The Necromancer gets a 75% damage multiplier. You know, the Rogue gets all imbuements. The Sorcerer gets like more procs of the skills and that also deal more damage. And the Barb, you know, gets a 15% defense here, like, and some healing. I mean, come on. Like, what Barb really needs is damage as well. And yeah, all the other classes just does get something very cool. And I just felt, I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I just felt like the Barb one was pretty underwhelming. And yeah, that's just another reason why I don't think the Barbs is that good of a choice for season. I've seen many tier lists already rank it right in F tier next to the Sorcerer. And well, Druids and Rogues this patch have it pretty good. So we'll see. I mean, I obviously, as you guys know, we have blasted the race last time to 100. There's no official leaderboards, but there's always community leaderboards. So I'm looking to race there. I think there's going to be very, very strong competition, and I just feel I would handicap myself way too much. And I would already, before the race even begins, if I start Barb, I'm already at a disadvantage. And I really like, you know, to play efficient, and I like to play with friends. And as a Barb, I just feel like I'm nerfing my team. Like it's just like not a good choice overall. So my class of choice will be the Twisting Blade Rogue. That's what I'm going to start with in the season. It's a build that's very strong from the start. You get the Twisting Blades aspect, I think in Act 2 in the dungeon. It's super mobile. It's still decently tanky, even though you feel the nerfs there as well for toughness. But it's just like so much damage that you just kill the monsters basically before they even can kill you. And you also have a lot of crowd control with like daze, stun, slow, with the traps knocking enemies down. I just finished the level practice right now, and it felt really good to play Rogue, moving around the map, blasting, having insane damage. And I made a full planner here for the Twisting Blade Rogue. I'm gonna put that one in the description. And this is kind of the class. It also has the Malignant Hearts, and here you can see like Rogue, for example, gets like the Creeping Death Heart here. Whenever I apply crowd controls, and again I have like Daze, Stun, Slow, Knockdown, it gives me 40% more poison damage. And for some reason, they haven't changed the poison imbuements. Like, I don't know how the Rogue dodged that, but yeah, poison imbuement basically can deal infinite damage. It's like triple dipping with certain multipliers, and yeah, we can use the Creeping Death effect to quadruple this damage probably again. And we get all the imbuement effects from the Vile Gem, and we even get like crazy resource and more attack speed and barrier with the Pack Gem here. We'll see how that one is gonna work. But I'm super hyped for that. I'm gonna be racing today when you see this video. I'm gonna be live on Twitch for the next 30 hours probably. So feel free to tune in, and we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be a very competitive race, and I'm looking forward to learn and play the Rogue on the highest level. And I'm gonna be blasting with a 4-man team, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of fun. For the future, I just hope we get some Barb Buffs. I'm still gonna do a Barb after I'm done with the Rogue, but it's just not gonna be my starter class. And I'm still looking forward to test the Barb, even though I think it's like on the weaker side right now. And who knows what the future will bring, guys. Maybe we'll get some nice buffs. I think there's gonna be a developer talk on Friday as well. So I'm very much looking forward to see all that. And either way, I'm gonna enjoy the season. I'm gonna enjoy the Rogue. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful season start, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.